What's up, softball players? Today I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite strength exercises for softball. So if you're looking for softball workouts, if you're looking for new exercises that will help you with your softball speed, your bat speed, your throwing speed, all that stuff, then I think these 5 today are going to be pretty helpful. So these are more geared for beginners, players who have maybe a training age of 0 to 2 years. So training age is just like how many years have you been training? Because you could be 18 years old and look pretty physically strong, but you might only have been training for a year. So training age of 0 to 2 years means you're still a beginner, you're still learning the basics. Safer exercises are a little bit better, obviously, than some really advanced stuff. So for me, as a former strength coach and baseball academy and softball academy owner, we worked with kids at all ages. So our goal was always to give them the best exercise for them and their training age and their body and their experience level and all that stuff. So today I'm going to go over 5 great strength exercises for softball players that you can do at any gym, almost at your house if you have some basic equipment, and they'll really help you on the field. Okay, so exercise number 1 for softball is the goblet squat. So the goblet squat is the exercise that we use with almost every single kid as their first introductory squat. So rather than do body weight squats, with your hands in prayer or something like that, or your arms like crossed out in front, we would typically just give them like a 5-pound dumbbell or a 10-pound dumbbell, and they would hold it right here. So the goblet squat is a really amazing exercise because when you put loading on the front of your body, as instead of having a barbell on your back, it keeps your posture naturally safer. It forces your low back into a neutral or arched position, which is much safer than having your back rounded, which you never ever want. And so the goblet squat is a great intro exercise for beginners. It's very safe. It teaches proper form. It's easy to get all the way to depth, which we love. Because as a beginner, you want to just start to learn the basics. You want to get stronger, but you want to just really set your foundation of doing exercises properly. So the goblet squat is my number 1 squatting exercise for beginners of pretty much any sport, but softball in particular, it's an excellent one. So definitely check out the goblet squat. And for all these exercises in this video today, I have links to them in the description below from my Warbird Academy YouTube channel. So we have like tons of exercises over there, like 200 of them. So you can see all these demonstrated and the ones you're seeing overlaid on the screen right here. Okay, so number 2 is the one-legged hip thrust. So the glutes are actually the prime mover of sprinting. So when you're sprinting, everyone thinks about your quads and squatting to get faster. And obviously squats do help you get faster tremendously, but the glutes and the hamstrings are actually the muscles that propel you backwards. They extend your leg and your hip, and they're the ones that actually push you forward. Your quads are more like up and down kind of leg muscles. So your squats, if you're a volleyball player or basketball player and you really want to increase your vertical jump, squats are going to have a little more bang for your buck than hip thrusts and hamstring stuff, though all of it is critically important, so don't misunderstand. They're all a big piece of the puzzle. But for softball players especially, who want to get faster, who want to hit the ball harder, your backside, your hamstrings, and your glutes are really important. So the one-legged hip thrust is extremely safe. It's a body weight exercise. You can add weight on your hips with like we would use like a dumbbell sitting on the hip bones, or a body bar, which is like a neoprene padded bar they have in every health club. Those are easy ways to load that one, and they're difficult, and they give you some lateral hip strength because you have to stabilize because you're on one leg. So it's a great intro, and then from there we always progress players to a barbell hip thrust, which we won't cover in this video, but is also an excellent exercise. So the one-legged hip thrust is awesome for players who are trying to increase their sprint speed and how hard they can hit the ball at the plate, in addition to the throwing speed, because the glutes are everything. Okay, my 3rd strength exercise for softball players is the farmer's walk. So forearms are really important. Obviously, you're holding the bat with your hands. Grip strength is a really critical component of pretty much any sport that is implemented. That means you're holding something in your hands, whether that's hockey, lacrosse, baseball, softball. Those are all implemented sports. They use an implement. So with farmer's walks, when you're holding heavy dumbbells, they have a number of benefits. Number 1, increased grip strength, which is going to help your throwing. It's going to help your hitting. And also when you're holding heavy dumbbells and walking with them, you have a tremendous amount of strain on your core. So it's a lot of really good core strength. It's excellent for posture, and it's excellent whole body strength, and it's really good for fatigue resistance. So it's good conditioning, right? So at the end of a long weekend where you played, you know, a triple header and 2 double headers, you get pretty tired and wobbly. So farmer's walks and really challenging yourself with weight, going heavier with dumbbells, makes a big difference in your overall conditioning and your overall toughness. Okay, so mentally challenging, very much so. This is something that we give to kids of all ages, and when they're young, maybe they start with 15-pound dumbbells, but kids progress pretty good. And with our softball players, especially for high school age softball players, we wanted to see them at least doing 45 pounds, if not into the 50, 60, 70 range when they're getting pretty strong, and that's tough. So for mental toughness, for grip strength, for overall body strength and conditioning, farmer's walks are an awesome exercise for every softball player. Every player should be doing them. Number 4, the sliding leg curl. So again, I talked earlier about sprint speed and how important glutes and hamstrings are. And for hamstrings, there's not as many good hamstring exercises that aren't either difficult to learn at first for beginners or require some kind of weird equipment or just like a little bit technical. But the sliding leg curl, it only requires a pair of frisbees or paper plates if you have like a hardwood floor or a gym floor, or these little furniture sliders that we used on carpet. And sliding leg curls can be done on any floor, any surface. They don't require any weight. They're incredibly hard. Like you're watching them right now and they don't look like much, right? They look pretty simple. They are really, really hard. And you can load them also. So you can add a little weight to your hips, makes it a lot harder. You can also add bands around your ankles, so it's like pulling your feet back away from you. So there's a lot of really creative ways to do it. And because it requires very little equipment and very little external loading, very little weight added, resistance added, you can do these in the gym floor with your whole team. You can do them in a very large group, which we did training 100 volleyball girls. They were all doing sliding leg curls. It's a really versatile exercise. It's really great for injury prevention, for sprint speed, and just for overall leg strength. So definitely add the sliding leg curl to your repertoire if you're a softball player and you want to get faster. All right, and my last strength exercise for softball players is the push-up plus. So upper body strength, because women have less testosterone naturally than men, it's really, really important. So working hard on your upper body strength, whether it's chin-ups, push-ups, all that stuff is really important. And the foundation should be the push-up. But there's a way to make the push-up better that also has a major arm care component built in, and that's the push-up plus. So in the push-up plus, you can do it elevated with a bar. So if you can't yet do good push-ups on the ground, no problem. You can do an elevated bar push-up, which you're gonna see here in this video. And also, the advantages of the push-up plus are good for arm care. So the push-up plus is like a regular push-up, whether you're doing it on the floor or on a bar. And basically when you get to the top, you're just gonna extend a little bit farther and completely protract, push your shoulder blades as far out like a cat as you can. So basically you get here at the top of the push-up instead of just stopping here. You keep going, and it's this really weird stretching sensation, and they're actually really difficult. Just doing 12 push-up pluses is hard. So the push-up plus is a great exercise to build these little muscles right here. They look like kind of like fingers on bodybuilders. It's called the serratus anterior, and the serratus anterior helps keep the shoulder blade flat on your back. And the shoulder blade is really, it's critical to arm care. It's critical to throwing mechanics and to rotator cuff and shoulder health in general. So if you've had shoulder pain, you've had shoulder problems, strengthening your serratus anterior is always gonna have a positive impact on your arm health. So the push-up plus strengthens the serratus anterior by adding that little extra bit of protraction for your shoulder blades at the end of each push-up. And it's a great exercise. It's very difficult. And again, it's just about sort of like getting more efficiency out of your workout. You could do push-ups, which are awesome. It's one of the most foundational exercises for upper body strength, and every player should slowly learn to do good push-ups on the ground all the way down with excellent form. But the push-up plus just adds a little more of an arm care component, and it gives you more time efficiency and that awesome arm health benefit in the end. Okay, so the push-up plus is something that you should definitely integrate into your team's workouts or your personal workouts if you're looking to get stronger and improve your arm health. All right, so thanks for watching. Hopefully my video here on softball strength training exercises that you can mix into your team workouts or your own personal workout, hopefully they were helpful. These are some great ones that we've used for years with lots of players, and they're gonna be safe and really effective. So I'll turn it over to you. What exercises do you do? What exercises do you feel really passionate about that have helped you a lot with your game? leave it in the comments below. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you here on the next video. Thanks for watching.